Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the regular City Commission meeting for the City of Lighthouse Point, October 23rd, 2018. Mayor Trost will give us an invocation.
Heavenly Father, by whatever name we know you, we pray this evening for your guidance and wisdom as we do to meet the work of as we meet to do the work of the people of the City of Lighthouse Point. We thank you for the opportunities you have bestowed on all of us and ask for your continued blessings on all of us here this evening and on our family, friends, co-workers, and others, and that you bring this country the peace that it deserves. In your name we pray.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to call the meeting to order. Oh, we did that backwards. So we already did the pledge of the flag, but now we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Trost.
Here.
Commission President Joffe.
Here.
Commission Vice President Mocker.
Here.
Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Long.
Here.
Commissioner Van Busker.
Here.
City Attorney Cirillo.
Here.
City Administrator Levitsky.
Here.
Finance Director DePaulo.
Here.
Fire Chief Bill Martin. Library Director Keyes. Police Commander O. Public Works Director Schramm. Recreation Director Leasing. We're all set for it.
Okay, the first item on our agenda tonight was going to be a presentation by Broward County Commissioner Chip Marka, but he is understandably busy right about now, but hopefully he will be able to make it before the end of the meeting. So we'll go to the approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 9th, 2018. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to review.
Motion to pass.
Second. We have a motion to pass. We have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Treasurer's report. Finance Director DePaulo, please.
Good evening. General fund has negative $1,747,331.52. Cleanup deposits $30,200 and no cents. Garbage and trash fund $457,853.30. Special purpose funds $2,869,195.68. Stormwater utility fund $277,593.90. Debt service fund $14,938.68. Contingency $5,483,748 and no cents. General fund encumbrances $307,404.42. Total off fund $7,693,602.46.
Questions for our Finance Director? Okay, we're good. Thank you. Now we have public comments and requests regarding agenda items. We have a couple items on our agenda, actually more than a couple, but not many. 5 it looks like. If you have any questions about the items that we have on our agenda tonight or would like to address the Commission regarding them, come forward, state your name and address, and you will be given 3 minutes to speak. Open public comment. Seeing no one coming forward, we will close it. There are no reports from City Administration, no department reports, no reports of the City Attorney. Our next meetings are Planning and Zoning, November 6, 2018. Code Enforcement is not meeting until January 15, 2019. Community Appearance, November 15, 2018. Special Magistrate, November 7, 2018. Marine Advisory, February 7, 2019. And this Saturday at 9:30 a.m., which is October 27th, we are having another, I believe it's the second, in addition to all the stuff that the mayor and all of us have been doing, community outreach event regarding the bond. So it will be at Dixon Hall, and we encourage the public to attend. There is no unfinished business. The first item, new business, is set the date and time for a special meeting to declare the results of the November 6, 2018 election. And our city clerk walk us through that.
Okay, thank you. The city charter requires that a special meeting be held no later than 5 days after an election to declare the results. In this case, that would be November the 11th. Typically, the commission meets the Friday morning after the election to declare the results, and that would be Friday, November the 9th. So I would like to recommend that the City Commission set a date and time prior to November 11th for the special City Commission meeting to declare the results of the November 6th election.
All right. So get your calendars so that we've got at least 3 commissioners I know.
I will not be here.
You will not be here?
I will not be here. I may not be here either. So we need 3.
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
I don't know when I'm going up. Is it that Indian print? You're going up early?
I may be in Orlando.
It says at 7:30. What? How
They're
early?
going up.
We're leaving
Thursday.
Thursday.
I leave Thursday. You're going to be in
I'm going to be in Orlando, yeah.
for work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is there,
All right, then I'll plan on, I'm probably not going to be going, so I can be here.
Could you do it Thursday?
We could do it Thursday.
Here's the trick with this one, is you're likely not going to have the results by that morning, so the meeting is going to be set because the charter requires it, and you'll likely continue it until either your regular meeting the next Tuesday or the regular meeting after that. And so the anticipation is that this meeting is only required by your charter, so you can meet and continue it to your regular meeting when we expect to have the results by then. But we do not expect to have certified results by that Friday morning. So usually we set it by that Friday, it's given us the extra business days to get the certified results for a March election. This is a November general election, the likelihood of us getting those results by then are slim. And so, you know, if there's any thought on the commission to do it the day before at any time, the morning, the afternoon, whatever, so you can just meet for a brief meeting to continue to your November 13th meeting, where then by then we hope to either have the results or a date by which we can set it for real.
Here's the other wrinkle though, just to throw it out there. I'm out of town through the 7th, and I'm just thinking, God forbid, you know, a flight issue or something like that. So I'm good.
Well, here's my thought. Why don't we do it 7:30 on the 8th? If you have a flight issue, Kyle, you're not leaving till Thursday afternoon. Did I hear that correctly?
Yep.
Earl, are you available the morning of the 8th?
Yeah.
At 7:30?
What day is it?
The 8th is
Thursday.
Thursday.
I happen to be.
Should be okay. You should be okay? You should be okay? Okay, so we can do 4 if you can't get back.
Yeah, that's fine. Breakfast. That works. Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so 7:30 on the 8th?
Yeah.
Do a motion for that?
Make a motion to set the date of Thursday, November the 8th, 7:30 a.m., canvass the election results.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Okay. Next item is, of new business, is waive the bid process to purchase one 2018 Ford Expedition utilizing Florida Sheriff's Association bid, our City Administrator, Mr. Levitsky.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, Commissioners, the 18-19 budget includes funds to purchase a 2019 Ford Expedition. My vehicle that I'm using now, it's a 2006 Ford Explorer, will be repurposed for recreation. To recommend the City Commission by motion waive the bid process and authorize the purchase of a 2019 Ford Expedition from Bozard Ford.
Any questions?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to waive the bid process and authorize the purchase of one 2019 Ford Expedition from Bozard Ford for $37,377, utilizing the Florida Sheriff's Association contract.
I'll second it. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving along here, we have no ordinances. We have our first resolution, which is a resolution awarding the bid for independent audit services, RFP 2018-010, agreement for services. Finance Director DePaula.
Thank you. The contract with the city's auditors, Keith McCullough and Company, expired with the most recent audit for fiscal year 2016-17. As you recall, in accordance with Florida statute, the city must appoint an audit committee to convene and go through the process of issuing an RFP, selecting auditors, and making a recommendation. So the City Commission appointed the committee back on July 10th, 2018. It consisted of Mayor Trost, myself, City Accountant Corey Olympio, Andrew Jean-Pierre from the City of Pompano Beach, and Nikki Satterfield from the City of Dania Beach. The bids were issued towards the end of August. Bids were received and opened in October, and the committee met, received proposals from 5 different companies, and overall the committee discussed the different proposals, the terms of each, and felt that Keith McCullough and Company is really the best fit for the city right now. They are a professional organization. They are one of the largest ones that submitted a proposal, I think the largest. They submitted very thorough, complete proposal with a very good, solid audit plan that all the professionals feel that we can consistently rely on. And they are going to conduct the audit with the same amount of professionalism they have for the past few years that they've been serving the city. So the agreement that's been, the committee recommends that the city select Keith McCullough to continue services for auditing for the city of Lighthouse Point. And the agreement is for a 5-year term that can be renewed annually by city administration with mutual consent of both parties. This time recommend that the City Commission adopt the resolution awarding the bid and approving the agreement with Keith McCullough and Company for independent audit services and authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute the agreement.
We have a motion to read.
Motion to read.
Motion and a second by Commissioner Johnson.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lighthouse Point, Florida, awarding the bid to Keith McCullough and Company, LLP, as the contractor to perform independent audit services, RFP number 2018-010, authorizing an agreement between the City of Lighthouse Point and Keith McCullough and Co., LLP, authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute necessary documents, providing for an effective date.
Any questions? I just have one. I see that it says the 5-year renewals annually by the city administration with mutual consent of both parties. Not as a big issue, but the renewals will not be brought back before the commission, correct?
Correct.
I have nothing else to say. Motion?
I'd like to make a motion to award the bid from our independent audit for the RFP of 2018-010 and approving the agreement with Keith McCullough.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Resolution approving and adopting Title VI regulations as required to participate in the community bus program.
Good evening, thank you. The community bus program is funded in 3 different ways. One by the city, another component by Broward County Transit, and the bus funds to Broward County Transit are given by the Florida Transit Authority. As part of the funding, Florida Transit Authority recently did a review of the Broward County system, and they found one item to be in non-compliance, and that was that they did not require the local municipalities to have a Title VI plan, so that's being rectified now by the FTA. So Broward County Transit is requiring the city to have a Title VI plan that applies specifically to the community bus program only in order to continue with the bus program. The Public Works Department will be responsible for initiating and monitoring the plan. We've using the county processes already set up for complaints. These are all related to the Civil Rights Act and discrimination regarding race, color, national origin, and language. So at this time, I'd recommend the City Commission adopt the resolution approving the Title VI plan for the community bus program and authorize city officials to execute the documents.
A motion to read.
Motion to read.
Second.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lighthouse Point, Florida, approving the City of Lighthouse Point Title VI plan for the community bus program, authorizing the appropriate city officials to execute the necessary documents, providing for an effective date.
What is our ridership on that now? Do you have any idea who tracks it at all?
Yes, I do. They actually reached out to us today. It's borderline. We're required to have, there's a specific number ratio, and it's a 7. It's like 7 riders per stop per hour. It's basically it, and we're just above that. Ridership in general has been down over the past 18 months. It can be caused by a number of different reasons. It could be demographics. It could be, we noticed a drop of some significance when Broward County Transit changed their schedule on US 1, so their bus gets ahead of our bus by about 10 minutes, and so some of the riders that used to use the community bus for free are just paying and getting on the county bus.
Is it a year over year? I mean, but if you,
yes.
It's year over year, you're
Yeah.
tracking it, okay.
So we discussed this item actually today with, we're going to canvass our bus drivers and reach out to the county regarding any route changes that may be suggested. We do not go into Shoppers Haven right now, and we're considering that, but our headway, which is the total route that we do, is 60 minutes. So they typically don't like headways to be more because then, people get used to the bus coming to the library here at 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, on the hour, and it works well that way. But when you get off that schedule, it gets a lot more confusing. So we're going to work on that. We know there's some communities, specifically Coconut Creek, where they have standard room only on some of their buses. So we need to keep our 7 to keep our bus.
Because that's one of the community buses is one of the things in the penny sales tax too. That's why I was asking you to see where we stood on that, in case there's any change. I mean, if there's a change, it would be a change in favor of the smaller cities and the smaller ridership.
And when meeting, it would fill in, like we would get additional funds, so we would have to go less out of pocket?
Supposedly.
Okay.
And there's another program that the county has introduced called TOPS, and
Right.
that's catering to some of the riders. That's taking some riders too.
I'm the president of the
Okay.
paratransit
Okay.
for our county, but they need to be veterans or physically.
And some have some disability, right?
It's an interesting thing with the tops too, that people have to pay sometimes like $7 for a
Mhm.
round trip ride, and it costs the county $60, $30 each way to do a tops ride. The people have to pay $7, and they're unhappy about that, but some of them don't have the $7, so
Right.
even though it costs $60, if you don't have the $7.
Anything else, Commissioner Johnson? Anything? No? You guys know what to do?
I'd like to make a motion to adopting and approving the resolution for the City of Lighthouse Point to do a Title VI plan for the community bus program.
We have a motion and a second on resolution 2018-2237. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. The final item on our agenda is a resolution declaring intent to utilize lease purchase financing for the purchase of replacement vehicles for the police department. And city administrator.
Thank you. The FY 18-19 budget plan for the city approved financing of several pieces of equipment and vehicles for our capital improvement plan. Traditionally, banks require that we do a reimbursement resolution when we're going to issue tax-exempt financing at a later point to pay for purchases that we've already made or that we're planning to make in the fiscal year. The budget had 3 replacement Ford Police Interceptor utility patrol vehicles, as well as, and those were already approved back at the end of August. And tonight we approved the purchase of a Ford Expedition for the city administration. Total purchase cost will not exceed $131,000 for both of these purchases. And the impact we don't know at this time. We don't know what the interest rates are going to be. So, however, the rates have come up because of the change in the tax code. So some of our existing notes have actually, the rates have increased as a result.
They're variable?
What's that?
They're variable notes?
Well, not variable, but they have a clause usually in the agreements that say that if things change to the tax code, the tax exempt situation.
Oh, because it's tax.
Yeah, so they
status. I got you.
Yeah, so now generally these rates have gone up a little bit because of that. So
What did they change in the code, or was it just?
because the corporate tax with
At the end of 2017, I'll do it, Frank.
go for it.
The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was passed, and it lowered the corporate income tax rate federally to 21%. It lowered the maximum individual rate to 37%. As a result of that, many municipal contracts, interest rates have agreements in them that if the tax rate drops, there's a inverse relationship, and it raises the interest rate to get you to the taxable equivalent that you anticipated.
Because they're paying less tax. They're paying less tax, yeah.
Yes.
Exactly, okay.
Gotcha. So that's also the act that gave us, for those of us that are in, and other than, that are in qualified services business, get 20% tax deduction on your return. So the real estate business being a qualified service business.
And lawyers not?
Lawyers are not, accountants are not.
Yeah. All right, we'll leave it at that. Any other questions for motion to read?
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Lighthouse Point, Florida, establishing its intent to provide for the reimbursement of certain capital expenditures approved in the fiscal year 2018-19 budget with proceeds of future taxes and financing, providing certain other matters in connection therewith, providing for conflict of severability and an effective date.
Anybody have anything? I have one quick thing. Just more question. I just noticed in the resolution, it doesn't, Mike, it doesn't need to, it just says vehicles. It doesn't need to specify the vehicles we're purchasing? No? Okay. I just thought that was...
No, I mean, it's really, we're tying it in. We just have to tie this in time-wise to when we're spending the money on vehicles. We don't have to specifically let it.
Okay. Is there a motion?
Motion passed.
Second. We have a motion and a second for 2018-2238. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. That is the end of our agenda. Ooh. This brings us to public comments and requests from the floor regarding anything related to the City of Lake Point, I would think would be a fair statement. So if you would like to come up and address the commission regarding any issues, come forward, state your name and address. You will have 3 minutes to speak. All right. No one coming forward? Oh, sorry.
My name is Catherine Uden. I live in Hollywood, Florida, but I'm the volunteer chair for Supervisor Broward
Can you give us your address? You can give us a work address.
Yes, 1120 Lion Tree Street, Hollywood, Florida.
Okay.
And I'm the volunteer chair of Supervisor Broward chapter, and I'm the Southeast Florida campaign organizer for Oceana, protecting the world's oceans. And we would really love if you would place a resolution to oppose seismic air gun blasting and offshore drilling on your next city meeting agenda. The first step in offshore drilling in the Atlantic would be seismic permits, and seismic blasting is how they search for oil beneath the ocean floor. Seismic air guns release pressurized air blasts that are like underwater explosions every 10 to 12 seconds, all day, every day, for days, weeks, or months at a time. This obviously affects marine life, including our seafood, our fish that we like to catch and eat. So it's a big impact on Florida. Our current plan proposes leases in most U.S. waters along the Atlantic coast from Cape Canaveral to Cape May, New Jersey. And this plan ignores expansive opposition, threats to coastal economies, dangers to marine life, and past disasters. Oil spills and tourism don't mix. They don't respect state lines. Fishing, tourism, and recreation supports nearly 610,000 jobs on Florida's coast alone and generates roughly $37.4 billion in GDP in Florida. The BP Deepwater oil disaster resulted in more than 200 million gallons of oil spilling into the Gulf of Mexico. It resulted in human losses, health impacts, economic losses, and harm to the environment and to marine life. As the world moves towards clean energy and away from dirty fossil fuels and carbon emissions, these new oil rigs would not make sense. There is incredible bipartisan opposition. To date, over 310 municipalities have opposed offshore drilling, including many Broward coastal cities. So we are really hoping that the City of Lighthouse Point would agree to do this for their residents, for Florida, for our economy, for our environment. We have seen in the media lately the impact of red tide and toxic algae on our economy, our wildlife, our home values, and on our quality of life. So Oceana is requesting your support for a clean coast economy, living oceans, and beautiful beaches. And all this information can be found at stopthedrill.org. Thank you for your time. This is also the feeling of our members of Surfrider Broward chapter. Thank you.
Commissioner, wait, can you go back for a couple questions?
Yeah. Do you have a proposed resolution that we could consider that
Yes.
Could we get a copy of that just so we
Yes,
can?
I believe I emailed it, but I can absolutely do it again. It's the same resolution template that the other cities have been using.
Send it to the city clerk, please,
Yeah.
and she'll get it to him.
Thank you very much.
I have actually one question on the record. So
Sure.
is this allowed now? This seismic, like, who calls the shots on it? Like, is it
It's
the
a
state
proposed
thing?
plan. It's the
Okay.
BOEM plan.
It's a proposed plan
It's
and
the
a
proposed plan, the federal plan.
federal plan. All right.
So these seismic permits are the same permits that were, at least for the Atlantic side, that were proposed under Obama administration. It was fought, it was won, it was overturned, protections were made, and now the protections are being reversed, and these are the same permits. I mean, any day now they could announce that they have the same permits to start seismic air gun blasting, and it is a real threat. There were, reports in the news that a deal was made between Rick Scott and Zinke that Florida would be off the table, but Florida is still in the proposed plan, and there is an organization, a coalition called Explore Offshore, and they are aggressively pursuing Florida, including the East Coast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Public comment is still open. Anybody? Leo, anything? Usual suspects? No? Okay. All right, well, now I'm going to close public comment. Communications with commissioners. Anything, anybody? Commissioner Johnson?
I have one, not to beat a dead horse to death, but I just wanted to read you a couple of quotes that I've seen in the paper in the last couple of weeks about underground power lines. The former director of FEMA, Michael Brown, was on the TV the other day, and...
Did a good job, Mikey? Michael? That guy?
That guy.
That guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Brownie.
But he said that he was talking about Florida Power and Light and the Hurricane Michael and everything, and he said that Florida Power and Light they shouldn't plan on response all the time. They should start planning on preparedness. You know, they're lining up all these trucks and then, you know, but they need to prepare better and stop worrying about response. And going further then, as many of you probably saw in the Pelican last week, Hillsborough Beach is ready to bury their power lines. Now, granted, they have one street, so it makes it quite a bit easier to do it. But there was also a quote there from John Lair, who's the project manager of underground conversions for Florida Power and Light. And he said, buried power lines are 3.5 times more reliable than overhead ones. The company showed that only 19% of underground lines lost power during Hurricane Irma. The percentage for overhead ran from 69 to 82%. And also another plus to underground power lines was when repairs are needed, one man in a truck can do the job in a few minutes. In the case of overhead lines, it can take days to assemble a team and the special vehicles required. So I thought that was all interesting. And that being said, have we ever heard back from FP&L about, you know, when they were talking about doing some model cities, et cetera?
We are on the list, but they have not, they're still going through a process. But we are on the list, I suppose.
It's pretty interesting, the statistics now, that they're actually admitting that how skewed they are towards the fact that the power lines being buried would be quite a bit helpful if we ever have something horrible come to us like.
I found the last comment, though, interesting because, my thought was that the repair side, I get that they go down less. I mean, I get that. That's prevention. That's the point you were making. But I always was surprised that the repair side that they said was easier for underground than overhead. I thought that was always that was always like you had to dig it out and fix it all.
Right. That's what they've said, but this guy said the direct opposite.
Yeah.
So, and then the third poles, I know the poles they have in double poles, I know it's written down that we're trying to get them added, but here they went and spent all this money for these ugly, horrible concrete poles, but yet they still have all the other poles, and they've been there for a long time. And I know it's Comcast and AT&T, but how are we going to get them off the fence? What are we going to do?
AT&T was out on Lighthouse Drive last week. I saw them moving lines.
Were they?
Yes.
Because I see the ones on 21st Avenue all the time, and they're just, so they've at least made a start.
I just saw them moving lines. I don't know what their start is. I just know they saw it. They were moving lines.
All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Long, anything?
No, just that we got the Halloween event Thursday, starting I believe at 6 o'clock. Be there, be in costume, have fun, bring your kids.
Yeah, I was going to mention one thing, and maybe John can comment on it. I took around right around the city today just to check something, and I was amazed at how many hedges have come into compliance.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed that too.
And I know we're not where we want to be. I know there's some holdouts, but generally it seems to have gone pretty effectively. John, are we gaining on that issue? Apparently we are.
Yes, sir. We had a plan going in that we weren't going to cite everybody at one time.
Right.
Because we could have cited 200, and you can't have a special magistrate or a code board meeting with 200 people showing up. So they're working on the worst ones and they're making progress. I don't know if we've even had to bring anybody to hearing yet. I mean, we've given.
I think there's one or two when I talked to Tony.
Was it?
Yeah.
But we've given them several notices and they work with them, and I know the mayor was working with one in the south end of the city. So we're just trying to get compliance, and they're working.
Well, I've been surprised, and I'll tell you, they look better. Some of these folks that were holdouts and didn't want to move them, they look better. So I'm glad we finally got on that. The other thing I noticed was the Intercoastal Drive signs are up. Mm-hmm. I don't know when they went up. Maybe they've been up for a while, but I just noticed them.
Sure.
So they look brand new. They look nice, at least where I saw them. And they've actually started grading that piece of property that we had so much trouble with. The end of, I think it was 30th, where the Hickox, the guy that got hit by the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've actually started grading that property, so maybe they're making some moves on that. So, anyway, just a couple observations. That's it.
Mr. Van Lester?
Well, I just wanted to mention, obviously Mike already mentioned about the park and Halloween, but also wanted to mention that we have the upcoming Exchange Club dinner, 150 dinner, November 3rd. You can buy your tickets online. I will be there. Earl's going to be my date. So be a nice, good old time. I'll be over in Pompano at the hangar. So it's a great time. It's a great charity. We do a lot of stuff in the community. It's always important. Tad's here. He's our point person for that. And then secondly, one of the things that I have noticed also about driving around the city is, I wanted to talk to Chuck, but we've done a good job lately of really keeping our trees a little bit higher. I've been doing a little bit more running lately. It doesn't show, but I do appreciate you trimming up those trees along the sidewalk and such, Chuck. It has made a difference, specifically in the middle of the night or in the middle of the morning, not running into a branch or whatever. So thank you very much for that, Chuck.
That's it? Okay.
One thing I wanted to mention, thank you to Becky and the park folks for the dinner under the stars. Turned out great, hot, but once the sun was down,
It was a very nice event. My first one.
Very nice.
Well, your team outdid themselves. That was
They did.
phenomenal.
It was amazing time and effort that goes into it, which is nice to see.
That is true. I do have one question for Tad, though. He sold me 2 tickets to the Exchange Club 150, and I've never gotten the email confirming they were paid for.
Oh, it's not about
Yeah. Okay.
Dad, what he just said was buy another ticket. He has 2 now. That's what I like to see. There you go.
You gotta send me the first one. Looks like a losing ticket. There you go.
I think that means we're done. No further business. We're adjourned.
All right.
No.